U.S. is vowing to stand by Israel as its war with Hamas intensifies. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stood by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a show of solidarity in Israel earlier today.
Here in Israel and everywhere, we will reaffirm the crystal clear warning that President Biden issued yesterday to any adversary, state or non-state, thinking of taking advantage of the current crisis to attack Israel. Don't. The United States has Israel's back.
We must stand tall, proud, and united against evil. Tony, you are taking that stand. America is taking that stand. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, America, for standing with Israel today, tomorrow, and always.
CBS News intelligence and national security reporter Olivia Gazis joins us now. Olivia, Secretary Blinken reaffirmed the U.S.'s unwavering support for Israel. What sort of aid is expected to be sent over in the days ahead?
That's right. Well, the secretary confirmed today that the first tranche of U.S. aid to Israel had already arrived. He noted that U.S. and Israeli officials are speaking virtually every hour as this crisis unfolds. Among the materiel already sent to Israel are ammunition interceptors to replenish its Iron Dome, which we know it's used heavily, plus artillery shells and other munitions. On the deterrence front, as we know, the U.S. has moved a carrier strike group into the eastern Mediterranean in order to warn other actors not to engage and to take advantage of the turmoil unfolding there. Beyond military support, the U.S. has been offering expert hostage negotiators from across the government. It surged intelligence support. And then there's, of course, expected to be overwhelmingly bipartisan support in Congress as well for additional aid packages to be sent. They're expected to total in the billions and to be approved in the coming days and weeks.
And Olivia, Secretary Blinken shared an emotional moment with survivors of Saturday's attack at that music festival in Israel. I want to take a listen to that, and we'll come back to you on the other side.
And if there's any way to help, like, first priority are our friends and family that are now in Gaza. We're strong here, we're powerful here, in this place, now in Tel Aviv and everywhere. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.
We're thinking of them and trying to do everything we can.
I know.
We want to bring them home.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it is so clear people just want to be heard and feel as though the world is trying its best to help. What steps, though, is the U.S. taking right now to help get some of those hostages out of Gaza?
Sure, Jerika. Well, as to what you just saw, I mean, Blinken spoke this morning about his family's own history surviving the Holocaust and how impossible he was finding it as a husband and a father to young children to hear some of these stories about entire families being killed, which is why you heard him there say we're doing everything we can. There has been an intense focus on securing hostages on the diplomatic front. To be clear, the U.S. is not directly engaging with Hamas. It's instead doing that through regional interlocutors who are principally in Qatar. Beyond those discussions, which are ongoing, we understand, there are nonstop diplomatic discussions over the phone, in person, that have taken place. You've seen the Secretary appeal to virtually any country in the region with leverage, to the Qataris, to the Emiratis, to the Saudis, to the Egyptians, to the Turks, to the Moroccans, to push for the hostages' immediate release. But one limitation there is that these are principally appeals that are being made on the basis of kind of humanitarian and moral grounds, appealing for the lives of women and children. And it's not clear how much traction that's having with some of the militants who are actually holding these hostages. Beyond the diplomacy, as we said, there are also FBI and defense experts on the ground who are talking to families and other sources about who may have already been taken. There's a significant behind-the-scenes undertaking by intelligence agencies to try to identify where these hostages may have been taken, who is holding them, and, of course, what they may want.
Olivia, you were mentioning Qatar. CBS News has confirmed that Secretary Blinken is traveling to Doha. Now, this seems to be a new addition to his trip. Do you have any more insight into what he hopes to gain there?
That's right. We did just learn this morning with U.S. and regional sources telling our Margaret Brennan that one of Blinken's stops in this trip in this region will be to Doha in Qatar, which is, of course, where the political leadership of Hamas is engaging with Qatari interlocutors about a possible hostage release. It is far from clear that those talks are going well. And in fact, a U.S. official specifically told Margaret that Blinken's visit there should not be seen as an indicator of progress, very clearly measuring expectations there. Because what's far from clear is that even if some deal were to be struck with this political leadership of Hamas, those political leadership may not actually have sway over the militants who are actually holding these hostages, whether those militants would actually abide by any deal that might be struck, miles away from where all of this is happening. And of course, all of this is taking place against a clock, against this dramatic backdrop of dwindling time that is left to free hostages before Israel begins what is widely anticipated to be a military offensive in Gaza very soon.
Oh, that's a shame that there isn't more optimism there. All right, Olivia Gazis, thank you.